kids go back to school soon, we're making the same promise we will always make. This will be the best year yet, but parents can always use a little bit of help. Erica Reicher is a clinical family psychologist, and her latest book is called What Great Parents Do: 75 Simple Strategies for Raising Kids Who Thrive. Now, 75 doesn't seem too simple, but I'm sure she has more details to narrow it down.
We will get to the bottom of this. She joins us live on the phone with some of these great tips. Good morning.
Hi, Erica.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Dan. Hi, Robin.
So what's the one big mistake that parents are making? What's the one thing you would tell them?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think in general, let's just say it's okay to make mistakes. I want to start out with that idea. I think mistakes can be a good thing in our parenting life because it gives us a chance as parents to model what to do when we make a mistake, which our kids will inevitably do. So that can be a good thing. The only caveat I would have to that is if we keep making the same mistake again and again and again, that's a signal to us that we probably need to seek some kind of support for changing our behavior. But to your question, I think, one thing that I see a lot, and that's a very simple change, is this idea of meeting feelings with feelings. Our kids have a different experience of the world than we do. They have big feelings. Our toddler drops an ice cream cone. Our 12-year-old can't decide what to wear. And to us, listening to this or seeing it, it doesn't seem like a big deal. I don't have anything to wear, or, oh, my ice cream. And what we want to say oftentimes in those moments is something like, it's not a big deal, or it's okay, or, honey, you have 1,000 different pairs of pants in your closet. You have tons of things to wear. But those kinds of responses will tend to escalate the conflict, especially if people are feeling stressed.
Whoopsie. And
so you can really help to de-escalate the tension and get the morning off to a better start if you will just say something like, yeah, honey, it seems like you don't have anything to wear. That's frustrating.
One of your pieces of advice, Erica, is you say great parents rarely say good job or you are so smart.
Right. Yeah, so that's
seems a little interesting.
Based on a different piece of research. So that is basically based on the research on praise, which says that, it seems like good common sense to say, to praise our children a lot, to help build up their self-esteem and their view of themselves in the world. But what the research shows, somewhat, I think, paradoxically, is that when we praise our children excessively or praise them for things that are fairly trivial and minor, they get a sense of that, and it seems inflated to them, like grade inflation. And also, being praised feels good, and so they get really attached to those labels of being smart or being talented, and then it can make them somewhat risk-averse and not want to try something new, because when we try something new, we generally aren't very good at it. And so they want to keep just doing the things that they, feel like they're going to get called smart for or talented for, and it can keep them from taking sensible risks and trying new things, which requires time and effort to get good at.
Yeah. You also say great parents use this term scaffolding, which I'm sure you're using to describe support and assistance, but they're doing all the work, or are the kids doing all the work? I mean, I know a lot of parents who are doing all the work.
Yeah. Right, that's a good...
Oh no, was that inappropriate?
It was inappropriate. Don't ask me that question again.
It was going so well, you had to ask me about scaffolding.
Bring up scaffolding.
And that was the one thing that you weren't supposed to ask her about. She got offended, and she's like, I'm out of here.
Well, there's 75 tips.
There's 75 other things.
75 things to do and be a good parent.
She said specifically, don't ask about the scaffolding.
Well, it's a great read. It's what great parents do.
Are we getting her back?
We are going to get her back. We just have to stall.
All right, we're back.
20 more seconds.
Should we go to around town
Erica,
first?
you back? No. Okay, sorry, we lost you there.
Sorry about her question.
Sorry.
You were in the middle of describing what scaffolding is.
Scaffolding. So the idea behind scaffolding is a way in which we as parents can help our kids learn and develop and learn new skills without taking over for them, right? We don't want to overfunction for our kids because that keeps them from learning important life skills. Like, if we're making lunch for our 15-year-old, that's probably keeping him or her from learning how to make their own lunch, which is a useful skill to have, especially if they're about to go to college in a few years. So scaffolding just lets us be supportive in a way that isn't actually building the building for them, but, providing coaching and support. So, one way to put scaffolding into place, let's say for the making lunch, if you've been making lunch for your child and they're old enough to do it themselves, is to, talk them through it and say, okay, so what kind of thing would you like to eat? Okay, you want a peanut butter sandwich. So what do you need to make a peanut butter sandwich? And hopefully they'll say peanut butter and bread. And you say, right. Okay, so do you like it toasted
if they can't figure that out, we got a bigger problem, don't we?
Exactly. But you can apply that idea to anything in your child's life. You know, if they're doing math homework and they say, you know, this is, you know, so hard. What's, 12 times 3, right? Instead of just saying 36. Say, okay, well, how would you approach that problem? What's the easiest way to break that down, right? And you can walk them through step by step so that they can figure it out on their own, and they'll have a much greater sense of ownership and pride in what comes out of that than if we do it for them.
Well, the book, again, is called What Great Parents Do, 75 Simple Strategies for Raising Kids Who Thrive. Thank you so much for joining us.